Hello everyone, welcome back. I wanted to do a second video on preventing tendonitis in your sword arm. Okay, in the first video I covered a bunch of things. A couple of things I did not cover, like how to take a leg shot. Okay, in the first video I basically said that you want the hilt, if you're in a high guard like this, you want that hilt coming, right past your face, and when you strike, elbow is pointed down to absorb the shock. Okay. So basically, there's three ways that we're going to power these blows. Either basically we're going to use the hip, right? So hip, okay, but elbow still pointed in such a way so it doesn't stress me out, okay? We can use rotational cuts, okay? Again, I end up in the same position with my elbow, okay? And the other way is gravity. So I'm using gravity from here, okay? So this sword really works really well with gravity, okay? And I'm really not muscling through these shots. I'm basically just letting the sword do what it wants to do. My thing is to make sure that my elbow doesn't get in the way. Okay, what we don't want to do is make a strike like this. Okay, where the put this down for a second. Okay, I don't want to strike like this where the sword's going that way and the elbow's pointing out towards the camera. I'll do it from this hand so you can see. I don't want this strike here. Elbow's going that way, elbow's pointed out there. If I'm going to make that strike, I want my elbow pointed down so it acts as that shock absorber. And I can do this close, I can do this at a distance, okay? I can do this way, with the tip, but I don't want to stress my elbow, okay? I can make some, like for example, I can do my crew pals, right? Crew pals are the high rotational cuts that come down, right? You're cutting down, same thing here. There's my crew pow. It's a downward rotational cut that's going to come, on the inside of the shield, okay? I can make my my struts how, right? The struts how is basically the plunging blow, okay? I mean, obviously it's not going to, it's a pole, so it's not going to bite deep into that. But let's try from this angle. I might be able to catch it. Oh, no. I'm making a vertical blow on a vertical pole, so the struts house is not going to be easy to do here. But basically, you can see where my elbow is. Okay, I'm not stressing out my elbow. Now, this type of a sword was basically, knights loved it because it could be used from horseback, or it was used from horseback. That was primarily how knights fought. So from horseback, basically they're riding along. Okay. They're using the momentum of the horse. The horse is moving forward at about 25 miles an hour. As they're going by, they're making that cut. Okay, a guy on the ground, as they're going by, they're making that cut. The way I'm taking the leg cuts or the guy on the ground cut is I'm bringing my elbow in close to my hip. Okay, so that's how you take that leg shot. Okay, right? Bring that elbow in. The hand passes basically right past my hip. So to the high shot, the hilt passes right past my face. Down here, the hilt passes right down, right by my hip. Okay, so I'm using hip here. We're using rotational cut here. Okay, we can use gravity. Okay, that's an example where I'm using gravity. I got the sword in a high position, cutting down. We can also do it to the other side. If you're on horseback, you can cut around that way. So again, that's an example where I'm using. I'm using the gravity to power the blow, but look where my elbow is. It's up here. It's capable of giving. Okay, so we can work all these shots, okay, and not blow out our elbow. Okay, and the key is that we want the elbow pointing in the same direction as the shortcut. All right. So a couple of things for you guys to think about. If you guys got any questions, let me know. But it's it works. I've been doing this for about 15 years. I usually fight at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, occasionally 3 times a week. Okay, and now one of the things I do is I do switch arms. Like I'm perfectly comfortable fighting, with the left side of my hand. Okay, I can make a lot of these cuts. I'll use the body. Okay, use that leg, rotational cuts. So that will also save your arm. Okay. Basically you need to rest your arm. A good way to rest your arm is learn to fight with your left hand. Okay? Okay, it's not that hard. You just gotta basically get on the pedals and practice these blows. Okay, but as a way of kind of figuring out what to do, the hilt, you know you're doing this right if the hilt is passing close to your body. So as I'm making, it doesn't matter whether I start from my shoulder. As I make this cut, the hilt goes right past my face. Okay, if I'm going down to the leg, it basically is going to go right to my hip, past my hip. Okay, with the rotational cuts, again, elbows pointing here. Okay? This sword, if you're not using it, if you're not using rotation, if you're not using hips, if you're not using gravity, okay, because gravity works great too. If you're not using gravity, this sword is really hard to move around. But if you're using those three things and keeping that elbow, pointed in the right direction as you make these cuts, it works really good, and it makes working with lighter swords even easier. Okay, so this is actually a good practice sword, using a sword like this, because if you can flow with this sword and make cuts easy, okay, without stressing yourself out, okay, that you're doing it right. So if you guys like the video, share it, pass it around. If you're not a member, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys next time.